will do anything to protect her children. But how do you shield an innocent child from something you can't explain?
The month was August of 1977. My mum had recently divorced. She had 4 children that she was left to bring up on her own. Knocking seemed to be going round the walls, but more so up one side of the wall where the stairs was. And it was continuous knocking. It was quite frightening. It's mixed emotions, really, like this is disbelief, you know. You wanted to believe that something strange was going on, but in another sense you didn't. You didn't want to accept it because you've never come across anything like this before.
Over the next few weeks, the Hodgson family felt that an eerie chaos was descending on their home in Enfield, North London. The case was attracting unwanted attention, and an ever-growing band of visitors were now reporting bizarre activity that seemed to occur on a daily basis.
I didn't really expect, I certainly didn't expect to find anything like we did find when we got there.
Furniture would be turned over, fires started.
I remember, because it struck me just above my right eye, was a Lego brick. It gave me a hell of a whack. I mean, I had a mark there for some days afterwards. It was just, it was frightening at the time. It really was.
There was a very strong atmosphere of despair to a certain extent.
When paranormal investigator Maurice Gross arrived on the scene, questions were being asked. What could explain the traumatic experiences affecting the family?
One of my jobs, of course, was to go there and try and explain to them, after I'd heard what type of phenomena were happening, that it was possibly poltergeist-type phenomena. It was obvious then. Janet seemed to be the centre.
As she came through the door, it was weird. Just things took off and started flying around the room.
It became the centre of me, I feel, as events went on. And a lot of things were surrounded around me.
Janet then started to go into trance situations.
She was just really sort of thrashing around in, I don't know what it was just literally a fit.
We were worried that she might kill herself. We felt, terrible about it. She rushed across the room and smashed her head on the wall.
I was feeling like I was possessed.
After yet another bad night, a heavily sedated Janet was put to bed.
We called the doctor, and he gave her a shot of something to calm her down. She was that sedated, as the doctor admitted that she'd had enough to put her horse out.
Suddenly, there's an enormous explosion. We rushed up the stairs. Janet!
To find that, as sedated as she was in the corner of a room. This radio was up on top of like a chest of drawers, and she was asleep on top of it.
I felt like I wasn't in control of what was happening to me.
Over the next few weeks, Graham Morris took a number of images using a remote-controlled camera. The images appeared to show an 11-year-old Janet and her sister thrown from their beds night after night. But worse, the activity in the house seemed to become more extreme.
In many later years to come, which, when I see photographs, was very distressing for me to know that I'd actually been in that state and not known about it.
Fueled by the fears of the family and a natural instinct for answers, Maurice Gross decided to attempt communication.
I believe you can talk. Say my name.
Let me hear you say my name again. Come on, let me hear you say my name.
I looked at John, I looked at Janet, I thought, that's crazy. And I thought the voice came from the ceiling or somewhere, you see. When I looked at Janet carefully, when it started to talk a little bit more, I noticed her lips were trembling very slightly. And I said to her, I challenged her, I said, Janet, that voice I think is coming from you.
It didn't feel like it was coming within me, it was more around me, behind me. As I felt, it was a rather strange feeling, but you felt like you were being used in some way.
Absolutely terrifying to hear a girl speak in an old man's gruff voice. He said, where are you in the room? And he said, on top of Janet.
I felt like I couldn't control the voice centering itself around me.
I don't quite remember who asked his name, but he did reply, my name's Bill. He was asked the question, how did you die?
I went blind. Then I had an hemorrhage and I fell asleep and I died in a chair in a corner downstairs.
Now, we didn't know that. Nobody else knew it.
Is it possible that the spirit of a dead man called Bill had taken control of Janet?
It was like a force that just pulled me out of bed. And I was so terrified because I didn't know where I was going to land.
So working at the time for a bakery that turned into the road. I looked up and saw a young girl in the room, and she seemed to be floating around in the room. I felt so strange that I had all goose pimples on my arms. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Then, in autumn 1978, to the relief of the family, the activity seemed to calm down for good, but only after Janet was sent to hospital for psychiatric tests.
And I just felt like an outcast of the family. Why me?
She received a full, clean bill of health. After the frightening events in Enfield ended, further research uncovered the death certificate of a man who had died in the Hodgson's house 14 years previously. His name was William Wilkins.
I died in a chair downstairs.
Otherwise known as Bill.
He did reply, my name's Bill. This case convinced me 100% that there is something beyond the physical realm that we normally understand.
We can talk about hauntings and poltergeists and all the rest of it till the cows come home, but I've no idea what it was, but it sure happened. That's certain.
And I still dream about it.